All right, seventh graders, it's good to get together real quick this morning. You'll be listening to this video on the morning of May 4th, Monday, and go ahead and talk about the rest of the year. I want to use this time just to give us a picture and a vision of what is right ahead and around the corner here. Because we really have 2 weeks left, 2 weeks of curriculum, 3 weeks of school, but I've been informed that the last week there that we had scheduled for school is going to be more of a spirit week. It's going to be some different fun activities and things like that. I don't have every detail there yet, but what actually is going to happen then is that our classes have 2 good solid weeks of curriculum still to go. And then that last week, of course, will be Spirit Week, like I mentioned, but also if we have something that still is not in yet, some assignment that's late or not quite handled right or something, we'll be able to get it organized at that time. So I'm looking up here also at another screen of mine. I'm kind of going to walk us through what is happening here for the end of the year. So let me do that now, starting of course on Monday, where one of the things you have to do is watch this video and so on and so forth. Another thing you'll see there is that you need to be looking at your test study guide today, okay? Your test will be next week, but you get the study guide today. Okay, in fact, the test will be almost 2 weeks away. It's like Thursday, the end of next week. Okay, so the study guide here you're getting today, in part because your test, it's going to be open book and open note. Really what I have designed here, or the way I've gone actually, is to focus it on skills. It is a skills-based test. It's just hard, even in this context, for us to create one that maybe tests your memory or things like that. And truth be told, here in Logic School, we're not just interested in whether you remember the characters and the names and things like that. We want to see you develop a good line of thought, a well-argued idea about some of the big questions of life based on what we've read here in Beowulf or in King Arthur and so forth. So that's what we're going to take advantage of. We're going to be seeing over these weeks, can you dive into some of these big questions of life, some of these prompts that are here on this study guide, and can you think them through and develop your thoughts well in writing? So this does work out very well for you in the sense that you will receive this week, and the Google Doc, the way I've set it up here, has a way of sending to each student, right, immediately. It generates an individual document for each student. So you all should have received this study guide individually, which means that you actually can then start responding to your study guide even as you read, right? Maybe you'll notice a particular chapter or some lines or something like that, and you'll make a note of that. Oh, I really like this question. This prompt is really fun for me, that kind of thing. And then you'll get to go ahead and write on that, or maybe include some of those page numbers. You also can write down your thoughts, perhaps, in some of those. You can go and write that down. So in each way then, you can actually prepare yourself for that test. Because in this way, the skill I'm focused on is not so much a skill related to time, but a skill related to preparation, thought, and then expression in writing. You'll need to express yourself on these big questions of life in writing. And so your study guide does relate to Arthur. It has some things on there from Arthur and some things on there from Beowulf. Okay, you will be required to do 3. There are different levels of requirement for some of the different grades I'm teaching. You'll be required to respond to 3 of those prompts. Okay, 3 of those prompts. You will get to select 2 of them. One of them will be selected for you. Okay, just from me, a prompt that I'm going to put out there that everyone has to answer. But another 2, you actually get to select what for you was very meaningful or profound, or made you to think maybe in a bigger way or a broader way about a topic than you had before, or something maybe that you just thought, this is kind of a tough one. I want to write on it. I want to figure it out by writing on it. So any of those things, class, will be good opportunities for you there. Now, I'll point out here on the week 34 lesson plan then, you'll see you're going to go on and do some of these writings and readings and so forth from Beowulf. Remember, all of these italicized notes and questions here, you don't have to write out answers on those. Okay, those are here in place just because they do focus your eye, I think. They are the kinds of questions and discussing we would have in class, and they focus your eye on some of the big, important things going on there, large and broad themes that are very helpful. So remember, you actually don't have to do writing with all of these things, though I encourage you, when you're done reading, to write down maybe some of their significance for those questions on your study guide. But it could even be that you get to reading on your back porch and you just really love it, it's a beautiful day, and you're rolling along, and you read much further than you were required day by day. Of course, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just including these as a way to keep you up to speed and up to date. Now, let me give you a quick note. Like, for example, today, you're reading in full lines 736 through lines 1231. Technically, in our copy, that's like 37 pages. I counted a while ago. I think it's 37 pages. Well, I mean, don't run into your folks or something like this and say, Mr. Sunt, what a slave driver. He made me read 37 pages. Because remember, 37 pages in this book is really like 18 and a half pages because you're only reading the pages that are in English. That is modern English, not Old English. So you're, in that sense, only reading 18 and a half pages or something like that. Generally, our readings are going to be in that zone right in there. So make sure to read thoughtfully and in a way that prepares you. So you'll be reading all these different days, not on Wednesday, because that is your classical Latin test. So good luck there. I'll be praying for you, and I hope Wednesday is a great day. I'll come over here now to the week 35 lesson plan. And it's mostly the same thing, very self-explanatory at this point, but I will point out you'll notice no Google Meet here. Okay, for this last curriculum week, I'm not going to have us do a full class kind of regularly scheduled Google Meet, right? I'm always available to you through email, or if we got into a tough little issue, we could jump on Google Meet, for example, and work it through, but I'm not going to schedule one for the whole class as we're turning the corner and running towards home plate. Okay, you'll see then your test actually, you have a day there to study basically just to prepare for the test. This could be times when you're writing or catching up or something like that. Now, for some students who may prefer this option, I am actually going to post that test, you'll see, at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. You do not have to take it on Wednesday. Okay, you'll see there on Thursday it says complete your Beowulf test by the end of the day. Okay, so Thursday really is our test day. But I thought, some students, maybe they're feeling really prepared and they want to go for it. Maybe even they're in a situation where you might want a little bit of control, a little bit of a sense where you want to move something around or something like that because of another test or something going on in your family, or when a sibling needs to use the computer or something, who knows. So I thought we can build that in very easily as an opportunity for you to do it on Wednesday if you want. And if you want not to have to do it on Thursday, but Thursday is the day for which it's scheduled, okay? And then your last curriculum day for me on Friday, you will see that it is a Winston Grammar final review, okay? In that sense, it's like a post-test, you could say, because I want to try to bring in some of those issues and keep you up to date. But it's not a test, okay? It's not being graded as a test or something like that. I say it's not great in the test category, but work hard and do well on it. It is a good example or a good opportunity for you to wrap up the year strong with all those concepts that you learned in grammar. So that is our final plan. The last 2 weeks, I think it'll be great. I think you'll have lots of time to read and enjoy that. I'm sure for some of you, you've really missed the social interaction and all those things, and I've missed seeing your faces every day. But maybe some of you also have said, hey, I've enjoyed sitting on my porch or getting in a quiet place and doing some of this reading. And I hope that you are enjoying Beowulf that way. So if you've got questions, of course, you can always email and be in touch in those ways. But also our Google Meet tomorrow, our last class-wide regularly scheduled Google Meet, is the perfect place to bring some of those questions as well. So I'll see you then.